handling social media for a better mental health. We all know how social media can be. Social media is a necessary evil in the sense that it's important if you want to do anything in life, if you want to go anywhere, if you want to know, social media is important to be used. However, it has terrible side effects that are not so good. And so therefore we are going to learn balance today. We're going to learn balance. We're going to be having our very own psychologist in the house who's going to be speaking. We're going to have a proper well-known influencer, social media that works, that lives, that deals with social media on a regular basis. And we're also going to get the perspective of students and how social media can help or mar their lives. So today's session is going to be amazing. So for the icebreaker, I need everybody to open their in-call messages. I need you to type the social media app that you use the most. Everybody. So there's the in-call messages. I can see whatever answers you give. I need you to type what is the social media app that you use the most, that you use the most, and give me an average of the duration you spend on it. Like, let's do it let's say per day, don't let's do it per week. So like if you use Instagram the most, how many hours do you spend scrolling on Instagram? If you use TikTok the most, what's the duration you spend? What's the spend? I mean, LinkedIn doesn't have. I think anybody spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. Okay. Okay, I'm getting to see answers. WhatsApp and TikTok. Okay, but like, give me time. Stephanie says maybe 45 hours daily. I mean, of course. I need more answers. So for me, it's going to be Instagram and X. And on an average, about 3 to 4 hours on an average. WhatsApp and YouTube. I mean, okay, I need answers. Please, we have almost 20 people here. I'm only seeing 4 people. I need to see your answers. What do you use the most and how long do you spend on it? Okay, please use your in-call messages. Let me know. I need answers. Okay, TikTok, YouTube, WhatsApp, 4 to 5 hours daily. Bashir says Twitter or X 12 hours daily. Facebook about 10 hours. WhatsApp is 24/7 because you are never off. Wow. Okay. TikTok and X about 6 hours. So from what I can see here, social media takes up like a huge amount of our time, which means that everything that we get from it, when you devote your time to something, like a huge amount of your time to something, in a way, it has an effect on who you turn out to be, on your character, your values, your person at the end of the day. And so we spend a lot of time on this thing. And so we need to learn how to balance this thing. If we don't, it would end up turning us into who we're not meant to be. And that's what today's session is here for. Today's session is here for us to learn how to properly balance social media and our mental health. Mental health is a serious thing. It's not a white man's disease, as they've said before. It's a huge thing that everybody needs to take care of. If you can hear me, I need you to unmute and just tell me you can hear me, because I feel like I'm talking to myself. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, thank you all so much for that. So I'm going to turn off my camera for a bit now. And yeah, so social media is like a huge part of our lives, and we need to understand how to juggle this thing if we don't want to mess up. So today I'm going to introduce our amazing speakers to you guys. Our speakers are amazing. They are here to feed us, they're here to give us knowledge, they're here to help us learn. And then of course we have our panelists, we have our speakers. We are going to just be ready to ask questions and get answers. And it's not going to end here. There's going to be after sessions, because some of us already have terrible habits of social media that it cannot just be broken off in one day. It's going to be a consistent thing. So yes, we have after for today's session. So please stay tuned. Don't leave. Make sure you stay to the end of today. And I promise you, you're not going to regret it. So, yes, that's it for now. Thank you very much. So let's introduce our speaker today. Our very first, our expert speaker today is Dr. Folasade Falana. Now, Dr. Folasade Falana is a psychologist with a PhD in clinical psychology and is noted as the first African American from US mainland to graduate from a doctoral program. And throughout her 10-year career, she's been deeply committed in both clinical work and community-centered efforts by dedicating years working in hospital, organizations, schools, ministry, and private practices. She supports natural disaster recovery. She supports youth advocacy. She supports and works hard on substance use and crisis response, neuropsychological assessments, cultural competency, and so many others. She does consultation, Dr. Shadi does consultation, well-being seminars, and educational workshops where she emphasizes on the importance of mental health and how proper care of it is necessary. And fun fact, though she's allergic to tomatoes and peppers, and she's Nigerian, she enjoys experimenting with like various foods and substitutes. And one of her many missions in life is to help individuals integrate their best selves into their academic, professional, and personal lives, building and enhancing personal power to foster authentic relationships in every area of their lives. So everyone, please clap, join your hands together with the emoji as we welcome Dr. Shade Falana. Everybody, I need to see the emojis, please. Let me see the emojis. Let me see the emojis. Let me see the emojis. Hi, Dr. Shade. Please, you can unmute. We can't hear you. Dr. Shade, please unmute your mic.
So glad to be here to meet you all and to talk with you all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shade. Okay, and also we have another speaker in the house. We have another speaker in the house. She is a voice actor. She's a lifestyle influencer. If you go on Instagram, she does lots of rant videos about how life is and what you need to do amazing in life. So everybody, let me introduce to you Stephanie Adams, also known as Captain. Everybody here needs to follow her. Okay, so as a content creator, and a micro influencer and a digital storyteller. She's a digital storyteller. Captain is passionate about using the media to build relationships, connections, and project humor as a means of expression. With experience as a voice actor and as a voiceover artist, Captain understands the power of storytelling influencing perceptions and emotions. And if you know that social media is just a huge ball of storytelling. And currently, she's a final year sociology student at the University of Lagos, where she explores blending academic insight and real-world experiences. So everybody with your emojis, let's welcome Stephanie, known as Captain. Everybody, let me see. Great. Hi, Captain. Can you unmute and just say something?
Hi, everyone. It's fantastic to be here. I'm glad to get to talk to all of you and learn from the other speakers as well. I'm actually particularly excited to hear from Dr. Shade. So,
thank you so much. And our third speaker of the day, our student representative, is Ajaji Dorcas. Okay, she's a detail-driven and analytical accounting professional with a strong academic foundation, and she possesses solid understanding of financial principles and practices. I don't know how that applies, but she uses social media, and her experience as a social media manager has also honed her skills in content creation, engagement, and community building. And she's also well equipped in business growth and success in a dynamic and fast-paced environment. So please let's welcome Ajaji Dorcas. Everybody, please welcome Ajaji Dorcas. I want to see your clap. Dorcas, if you can show us your camera for a bit, and if not, it's completely fine. You can unmute and just talk for a bit. Dorcas,
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Dorcas. Nice to hear from you.
Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be here this afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so and while Dorcas is saying a few things, we're going to move on to the next thing on our list for today.
I've been listening. This is one guy came me. I'm going my home. Come back. Max, no matter where the chicken from.
Please,
One spot by gift.
please, can you unmute? Somebody is muted and speaking. Can you please mute? Thank you very much. Great. So now, please, we're going to welcome to the floor Dr. Sade, because she's going to be talking to us for a few minutes before we open the floor for questions. There are so many hard-hitting questions that we need to ask, but we're going to open the floor for Dr. Sade. She's going to educate us professionally on exactly the impact of social media on mental health and how we can balance it. So everybody welcome Dr. Sade Falana. Dr. Sade, the floor is yours.
Let me just, let me see, what can I?
Okay, everybody, can you see our screen? She's trying to share the screen with us. So please, let's all be here. Great.
Can you see it?
Yes, can everybody see our screen? If you can, please unmute. I can see it. Just say it. Okay.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, great.
Okay. Well, thank you again for having me here. I'm really happy to be here and just talking about something that I love, anything that has to do with mental health. Like Motalani said earlier, it's not a white man's disease, or a white man's issue. It's something that everyone who as human beings deal with. And mental health doesn't necessarily mean someone is mad or crazy, although we've all seen situations severe like that. But mental health is generally just about your well-being. How are you coping with stress? How are you making better decisions in life? So our topic today, of course, is social media and mental health, just navigating that. And let's get into our discussion. Sorry, it's moving a little. Let's see. Okay, so the objectives that we're going to talk about today, these are really deep topics, and so we're only just going to scratch the surface, but I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can with the time that I'm given. You're going to be educated and be able to understand your social media use and better ways to navigate that, healthy strategies. We're going to talk a little bit about online negativity and how we deal with comments or reactions. We're going to talk about the positive stuff we see out of social media and how to make meaningful connections, as well as, putting more of an intentionality piece and purpose behind our social media use to inspire and engage. And so basically, being a more mentally healthy digital generation. Okay, so this is a little bit of statistics that I gathered for us. Sorry about that. Globally, 63% of young adults say that anxiety and depression are due to their social media use. I think we can all attest to, and we'll get into some of that later, attest to seeing things online and questioning ourselves. Particularly, a statistic that I found online, Nigeria, 52% of Nigerian youth may experience social media related issues. Excessive use, 78% of Nigerians may use social media excessively. And then we also have globally 210 million people say that they have an addiction to social media. Some benefits we can all agree that there's some benefits to social media, right? We gather opportunities. There's people that we connect with, we learn new things, it's at our fingertips, but there are also some risk as well. And that includes whether we're using social media in a healthy way. And then just some future, the future digital era. We know that neurotechnology is, currently here, and it's going to continue to advance as far as artificial intelligence and just things technology interacting with our brains and trying to mimic us. And that can be a positive thing because, for example, it can help monitor mental health issues or health issues online. So this is something that we deal with, just as human beings. Anxiety is a very normal, natural thing to experience, and that anxiety is a protection piece for us. However, if we continuously operate in that fight or flight fear mindset, then anxiety now becomes a hindrance to getting things done and putting ourselves out there. So fear of missing out, everybody's heard of FOMO, and that's directly connected with anxiety. So I have some things here. When we have a fear of missing out, there's a false sense that we're being either excluded, but if we're included, then we also have a false sense of being validated. When we see other people getting likes, say we put a post up, it's our birthday, we got a fire outfit on, and we look amazing, and maybe we only got 20 likes versus someone who may have gotten 100 plus or thousands. And so we start to feel like, oh, well, I'm following all of these people and all of these people are following me. How come I'm not getting that recognition? And so it starts to make you feel like you're being left out or not measuring up. You post something and you constantly check to see if anybody has reacted to it. That's also a sign of fear of missing out. Also, we have pressure to be known, accepted, and to keep up with the trends. I'm not big on social media. I'm trying to increase that, but I want to use it as more of a business platform and to just share information. And if I'm not on social media and I miss the joke of the week or the joke of the day, it feels, like, oh, wow, everyone in the house is, my siblings, they're laughing about it. And I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, you're so old. It's not really that. I do other things with my time intentionally. But there are times I just go on social media and I binge on funny content. But yeah, there's a pressure to just be known, to feel accepted, and to just keep up with the trends that's going on. And then we have here, lastly, our brain is constantly on the go when we are in that fight or flight mode. And it's a false sense of flight or fight because, again, anxiety is for protection. And if we're not in a dangerous situation, then when that gets activated, our brain and our body are just like, something's off. We need to go. And so there's an obsession that starts to build and a habit that starts to build. And you essentially neglect your body. When you stay in your mind all the time, worrying and thinking and going over things over and over again, maybe I should have, put a filter on this. Maybe I should have posted at 2:00 instead of, 7 p.m. And the body is in this constant tension, and that is not good for overall health. This is another one, comparison and self-worth that can lead to, and questioning your self-worth that can lead to depression. So comparison can be equated to maybe competition, and healthy competition isn't a problem. Excuse me, if you're using it to just better yourself. It's self-development. You're not putting anyone down. But you're using it for personal achievement. However, when it starts to become a problem is when it's a tit for tat. Everything someone does, you must do it better. This person does a photo shoot every year for their birthday, and now you have to do a photo shoot plus get a custom made design dress. And it starts to become this competition that you're really having with yourself and technology. So it's a comparison trap, and you're measuring your worth based off of material things, technology, false perception that someone's life is better than yours because, they were able to figure out how to use social media better than you. And it's a seeking perfection in yourself and in others. And why that's an issue is because you end up taking these habits from online, offline. And now when you're engaging in relationships, it could be, platonic, it could be with family, it could be romantic. You start to seek that perfection in them. They must always come to your door looking 100%. Nails must be done, hair must be done. And that's not the reality that we actually live in. And so it's always seeking perfection in others, but also in yourself as well. Needing and seeking external validation, right? If no one tells me that I'm, that I look good, if no one tells me that I'm doing good, then it must not be true. And so we have to be careful of falling into those traps and comparing our self-worth to achievements and things that really pass by. Let's see. So self-esteem and inadequacy, right? And I was just talking about that. So emotional dysregulation is basically when you can't handle your emotions anymore. You can't handle a situation. Before, maybe you felt like you had tougher skin, that things didn't really bother you. But as you start to get into this comparison piece, your mind, you weaken those good habits that you have or had, and then you start to get grumpy. A perfect example is someone watching the news before they go to work in the morning, and everything that's on the news is someone got killed, there was an accident on this highway, this happened, this person is missing, and then you go to work and you're moody. Well, no wonder, because you filled up yourself with things that weren't uplifting. You filled up yourself with things that made you feel anxious. So when we are dealing with emotional dysregulation, it becomes more than just I'm sad today. It becomes more than just I'm feeling this. It starts to be a habitual way that you are, and it starts to become a part of your identity. So you have to be very careful and very aware about what it is you're seeing, what it is you're hearing on a daily basis, constantly, and how that's changing you, whether for the worse or for better. And so I have a scenario here. Imagine waking up and seeing your friends' vacation pictures while you're stuck in traffic on your way to work. How does that make you feel? What am I doing with my life? I wish I could have a job where I can take vacations, and all these things are okay. But if you're ruminating over it to the point where it's affecting your mood, and now this is who you are, this moody, pessimistic person, something needs to change. So focus and productivity, and there are different terminologies for it: monkey brain, popcorn brain. And this is basically where you can't keep your eyes focused on one thing too long. If anyone has children or younger siblings, you definitely see it in them. And I did this little experiment where I counted the seconds that I was watching this kids show, and I was counting the seconds between each scene. So, I think it was Coco Melon. I don't know if anyone has heard of Coco Melon. It's all the rave in America. Kids are addicted. They're calling it a drug name because of how kids are able to get so fixated and sit still and be quiet while watching the show. And so I counted the frames in this show, and it switches every 3 seconds. I think the longest frame might have been 5 to 8 seconds, but it always has the child engaged, constantly engaged. They don't have time to stop and think about something else. And so I've heard parents say that their kids are able to sit for hours watching it. And what is that actually doing to the brain? Can you sit and read a book? Can you sit and read an article? How is that affecting your study habits? How is that affecting you being able to sit and have a deep conversation and really engage without pulling out your phone, without shifting your eyes, without getting distracted? And so we have these physiological responses that play a role in all of this. Dopamine, if you don't know, it's a chemical in the brain that makes us feel good. It gives us, it's our reward signal, it's our motivation signal. So every time you click like, every time you scroll, you move that thumb up the screen and you scroll, you're getting a hit of dopamine. And if anyone knows anything about substance abuse and drugs, that's also what that is. Every time someone is taking that drug, they're getting that dopamine hit, and they're getting all of this release of feel-good chemicals that makes you seek it even more. So then now when you're not using, or when you're not scrolling, or when you're not on social media, everything else is boring. Nothing else is worth it because it can't hold your attention. And so if you can see the pattern of constantly engaging in something that shifts your attention every few seconds, or even every second, because the thumb scroll is real, you can see how someone can get addicted to social media. Disrupted attention, right? When we engage in these habits constantly, we end up weakening the good habits that we had. Maybe you remember a time where you were younger and you came home from school and you did your homework right away. Now you're at work and you have this project done and you're up 3 a.m. trying to get it done before you get there. You notice that you're not holding yourself accountable in the same ways. These abilities to focus are weakening. Again, when you have monkey brain, it gives you cognitive alteration. So it's not just what it's physically doing to you, but this affects the brain. This affects the wiring. Now you can't work on complex tasks without much trouble. You can't sit still. You need to take breaks constantly. And you find that something that should probably take maybe a day to do has been taking you a month to get done. So I don't know if anyone has ever heard of ADHD. It's something that's, really diagnosed in America, but it stands for attention deficit or hyperactive disorder. So there's 2 parts to ADHD, the inattentive part, the hyperactive part, or it can be combined. And so what that means, they really diagnose it in kids, but it's been being diagnosed in adults as well. It really means that we have a person in front of us that is inattentive. They're chronically inattentive, whether they daydream and check out completely, or the hyperactive, they can't keep still. They're always on the go. They need something. And it's about stimulus. What is stimulating me? Whether you're touching something, tasting something, looking at something, or hearing something, that constant stimulation is also affecting the wiring in the brain. And these things, I said semi-permanent because the brain, we know it to be what they call neuroplastic. So the brain is malleable, and you can learn new habits, and you can rewire your own brain, and you can change these things and get better. So these are some pros and cons that I have here about social media. And then I also have what are the signs of trouble that are getting to addiction. So It goes to our motives, right? What are you using social media for? I have here on the signs of trouble for addiction, escapism. Yeah, I just want to take my mind off of work. I just want to take my mind off of my, my responsibilities, and I want that dopamine hit. So I am going to escape. But if the escapism is all the time, where Motalani had put in the chat, or she asked a question and asked you guys to engage in the chat, which social media are you using constantly, and how much time are you spending? If that escapism is getting to the point where you can't do anything else but watch other people live their lives, that is a sign of trouble. Feeling a loss of control. You can't even put your phone down to go to the bathroom. It has to come with you. You're walking in the street, you're on your way to commute, and your phone is constantly in your hand, right? You can't even just put it in your bag. Excessive time loss, it goes with escapism. You look up and it's been hours. It's like, wow, I got home at 6 p.m. and it's 12 o'clock. It's 12 a.m. and I've been scrolling and engaging online. Problematic mood changes. Again, if you find yourself just more irritable, annoyed, sad, down, weak in spirit, and you go on social media and your mood is lifted for that dopamine hit, sign of trouble. And also, if it's affecting real life engagement, you're in the family room with everyone and they're trying, family's trying to watch a movie, but you're there on your phone and you can't check out for a little bit from social media. Those are the signs of real trouble. Some positives: access to community, expression and sharing creativity, and unlimited resources for learning, right? I have here on the cons list, issues with privacy and security. Whatever we post online, it really stays there. And let me see, I recently heard a story, actually just 2 days ago, from a good friend of mine's. And I would say this is the first time I've heard a situation like this from someone that I know. She told me that a friend of hers, who's a lawyer, went up for this big job, and she got this great offer from a top law firm in New York. And they called her in and they rescinded the offer because of something she posted online some time ago. So these companies, especially if they have the money, what they're doing is they're hiring investigators to track your footprints. And, as youth, I'm a big advocator. I said some things during Black Lives Matter movement in America. I don't like injustices and the like, but imagine working so hard for an achievement, and you get it, and it's literally snatched from you because you didn't use wisdom online. What you put out there stays out there. Let me see, did I skip something? Okay, no. So all of this, what does it boil down to? Can we fix it? Of course. Let's rate ourselves, which we already did. It's about habits. Habits can be broken, habits can be gained. And, I have this squiggly line here because that, is the jumbled up thoughts that we often get, or the checking out, and it's slowly unraveling. And that just means clarity and moving forward. And so, if you rate yourself with these questions, do you check your phone first thing in the morning? Do you feel off when you don't have your cell phone or your laptop? Do you miss out on real life moments because you're stuck on your phone? For example, you're on commute. Maybe you pass by a garden or a farm every day and it just passes you by. You just don't, you can't take a moment to just appreciate God's creation. Do you take things personal? Do you take other people's opinions personal? And do you do self-comparisons? And so these are some things, I have here. 4, if you're like, I'm pretty good at, managing this. 3, not too shabby. 2, I need to adjust. 1, I have a problem. So I'm going to talk about communication styles very briefly, and how that will segue into online negativity. So when we're in front of someone, we understand that there's body language, we understand that there's facial expressions, there's a tone of voice, there's so many nonverbal cues, keeping eye contact, and these things kind of change when we're on the social arena, right? We have now emojis. You use all caps if you want to emphasize something, bold. The rules of the game change, and not everybody's following the same rules. So when it comes to communicating online, I always like to approach it with a place of curiosity. If for example, let's say you use the heart. I use the heart emoji, the red heart emoji for everything. I love it. I love it. I love it. But what if you encounter a situation where maybe your partner is like, I don't feel special. You use the heart emoji on everybody's picture. You use the heart emoji when you're texting someone all the time. That doesn't, you use that for me too. It doesn't make me feel special. We get into like these kinds of things. Everybody uses the emojis differently. People use this as the praying emojis. They can use it as a high five emoji. What are we saying to each other? And that often gets lost in translation when we are on social media. And so, when we're looking at our habits and are we taking things too personal, we have to take a level of curiosity to say like, is this person intentionally offending me? Am I reading it this way? And so on. And so let's see if I have anything else here. All right. So let's talk about online negativity, right? We know that there are trolls out there. There are people who are experiencing all those things we spoke about in the beginning, right? Are experiencing comparison, depression, anxiety, fear of missing out, and they're projecting that onto people online, right? You're not really living your best life. You're a liar. This idea is stupid. If there was a dislike button, I would click it 1,000,000 times. People say the most ridiculous things online, often just to get a reaction because they're looking for that dopamine hit as well. And, because it's also a cry for help. Some people are that's the only, if you notice on social media, when somebody says a negative comment, sometimes that negative comment gets more than the actual positive comment. Because people are like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, mind your own business. And then it starts this whole, but that person has gotten their dopamine hit because, wow, my comment got like 5,000, responses, good or bad. And, if you're in entertainment, some people say there's, no bad publicity. So I have here, these are some things that we should not do when we're engaging online. Jump to conclusions. Not everything is what it seems. Some people are just trolling. And even if they aren't, I would say start with you first. And that really just means like, we'll talk more about strategies in a little bit, but that really just means, why am I triggered by this thing? Take a place of curiosity with yourself and also with social media engagement. Putting a high value on everything. So there's some things that are worth saying something to, for sure. But not everything is worth your attention. And you have to determine like, is this going to upset me for the rest of my day? And if I make this comment and somebody responds, am I going to go back and forth with them for about 2 hours? You have to determine when to pick and choose your battles and think futuristically. If I say something ridiculous, is this going to come back to bite me because it's out there and it's there to stay? Ruminating. Ruminating is thinking over and over again about what I should have said, what I should have done, what I did say, what I did do. And it shows that your wiring is off. It shows that your mind is not able to let things go. And so that's an area that I would say needs more love and support, not from others, even though you can seek support, but love on yourself and support yourself. Mood changes. If you find that your online engagement leaves you anxious, upset, or depressed, you need to make a shift. Also, doing nothing. If you can't let it go, then do something. Report the trolls, right? Or put out a response that is said in truth and in love. And I put here unless a crime is being committed, because we all want to be responsible citizens in society. And so again, what you post will always be out there no matter what you do, so make it count. All right, healthy strategies. Now, I've talked to you about all the issues that we can experience when we're engaging in social media. So here are some helpful strategies that I have. And these, I believe will help reduce harmful effects. Mindful scrolling, right? If you know you're going to get on Instagram, especially TikTok, if you know you're going to get on these things, and I think YouTube even has a feature now where you can also scroll, but it's less than TikTok and less than Instagram. But if you're going to scroll, do it mindfully. And I have here, take a 20-minute break. Do it for 20 minutes and then say, you know what? All right, let me go and shift. Let me actually, watch something that's 5+ minutes. You know what I mean? Let me go and check out someone's page and see what they're really about and see some other content from this person, and kind of just do it mindfully. Even though, so here's how the algorithm on social media work, right? Even if you pause over content for a second, they will add that to your algorithm. You will start seeing more stuff like that. And that's why you have to be intentional about going back into your feed and deleting from your history. I don't want to see this anymore. Don't just let it go, because it will continue to show up. Even if your eyes gaze over something for a second, the brain registers it, and so does your social media algorithms. I have here screen time limits. I mean, if you're trying to get to bed, I don't know if anyone else has heard, but they said it's something about the blue light in your phone. It will keep you up because it's supposed to keep you engaged into looking at what you're looking at. If you're trying to go to bed to get up on time early, you need to at least drop the phone 30 minutes before bedtime. And it's okay to take a detox from your phone, especially if you're working on your computer all day and then you just pick up your phone and it's just a transfer. It's a lot. Find ways to detox from your screen. Unfollow toxicity. I don't know if anyone's familiar with this page, but the Shade Room. I followed the Shade Room for years, and I saw how they went from, I'm sure they still post positive content, but I saw how they were integrating some pretty unhealthy and toxic stuff. And I unfollowed them. And I do that with celebrities. When you first get on social media, you go and you follow all of these people that you like, and I unfollow toxicity because I just don't want that in my feed. I can, if I need to find out something, it's always there to go and find out, but I don't want it in my feed that is going to slowly poison me. Mute people, unfollow people, block people. And I have a comment for that. If you must, I would say mute, unfollow, block. But this is a great time to practice emotional regulation. So instead of responding or blocking, try to self-regulate your emotions, let it go, and move on. Like, I don't like what I saw. I'm going to click this thing and say, I don't want to see anything like this anymore, or I'm going to mute the person, but I'm not going to block them or unfollow them. It's not that deep. And an interesting thing about this, if you, I don't know if I say it later on in the slide, but if you remove yourself, so you get triggered. If you remove yourself from that trigger, I don't want to see this anymore, the brain registers how your body responded to that trigger, and it becomes sensitive. The farther you stay away from the trigger, the more sensitive the brain is. So that when you encounter it, you get more upset. So the best way is to desensitize the brain to a certain stimulus and say, okay, I didn't like what I saw. It made me feel this way. I'm going to switch out my algorithm because I'm taking control, and that's the only control I can, take. But also my emotions, I'm not going to run away, because you will make that thing super sensitive to where you overreact if you see it again. And that's the brain just protecting you. That's what it's supposed to do. Curate your feed, be intentional, and think about future you. And so I have here on the side, right? Digital boundaries, have a balance, no screen time, no phone, no phone zones. Go to the bathroom without your phone. I know some people play music from their phone while they're in the shower and stuff like that. Okay. But if you're on the toilet scrolling, if that's your only time, but it's likely not, I would say set up no zone times and reflect on value of whatever you're curating in your feed. Let me know if my time is okay, Motilani. We're almost done here though. Okay, inspire and engage. And so this is something that I think it's amazing about social media. Finding your tribe, finding your community, finding a place online that you feel safe, that you can express, you can get inspiration from, all of that, right? When you're able to creatively express yourself, you're recognizing your talents. And that's what needs to stand out when you're on social media. Maybe you see something, you say, I could do that too. Great. That's the inspiration that you want to go with. But don't see someone's talent that you're like, I don't know if I could do it as great as them. I would stop there. You know what? I like the way this person does it. I have more I can learn. Let me go and do that. Versus getting into the self-doubt and putting yourself down. Be very careful about how you talk to yourself. I have here, being yourself. When you find that community that accepts you for you, or you accept them for them, I mean, with a grain of salt, but there are communities out there when you find your tribe. Authenticity and integrity are really hard to come by, I would say, nowadays. Everything is Photoshop, everything is filtered, everyone has a mask. So if you want to be that change, start with being your authentic self and start with being a person of integrity. Finding your purpose. Honestly, this is, I feel like, it's self-explanatory. We should use social media to further things such as our purpose. What you see, what you listen to, it should be furthering any long-term goals and supporting that, right? What do you want to contribute to the world? And leveraging and collaborating. This is where opportunities come in. This opportunity that I'm speaking to you right now came through online community, came through leveraging and collaborating. So some key takeaways, and I have here, a challenge, right? Has anyone ever done, first off, and can you or would you be willing to, obviously if it's not going to interfere with work, do a social media detox? And that would also include, a lot of us have the same apps on our laptop as they do on our cell phones. And so it would be social media on all your electronics. If you can do that for 24 hours, and if you can you do that for a weekend? Key takeaways is when you're moving forward, social media should be about finding your tribe, protecting, being mindful, being influential, creating, all of these great things, these great terms that are on this page. And the letting go and stepping away is so important because it builds you up. It builds you up as far as how to manage and how to cope with difficult relationships, whether in person or online. And seeking support, putting up boundaries is very key. Some questions, and if you want to take a screenshot of this, please do. But these are some questions for you to reflect on. These are some questions for you to reflect on. So, do you desire to change the way you relate with social media? If you do, then, hopefully you were taking notes, but you can easily go online and just type that in and find out and do your own research and find out what works for you. Be curious about why you feel the way you feel and think the way you think. Can you put your phone away when you're with friends, when you're commuting, or when you're doing an activity? Do you spend entirely too much time on social media, even for work? Because if this is your job, then you must incorporate some self-care routine or practice where it does not involve social media. How will you now respond to hateful content online? Is your social media habits adding value to your life? Have you been without your phone for an extended time? If so, what did you notice? Were you anxious? Was it uncomfortable? But after a while, did you adjust to it? Okay. What would you like to contribute to the social media world? What would your future job say about your posts? And what's one online community that makes you feel good? And that is the end. Here is my social medias. I've recently started posting on YouTube, trying to get out of my comfort zone. And here's my LinkedIn, as well as my Instagram and my email. Thank you for joining this talk. And I can't wait to talk with you further during question time.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Sade. That was enlightening on so many areas. I could literally see my bad habits. I was just picking my own day. I'm like, okay, Tolani, this is you. Tolani, this is you. Oh my God. I feel so seen because, it makes it make sense. Like, okay, these are habits that you have, and record shows that it's not only you, so maybe it's time to do something about it. So thank you so much. We have tons of questions. I know I have questions for you. Please, everybody, take it down. We have questions that we definitely need answers to that we're going to ask. Also, Ma, would it be possible to share the slide with us so we could share with our community? Could we get the slide?
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. So I will be sending the slide. I will get the slide and send it to everyone. So thank you very much. Okay, so now it's question and answer time. I need Stephanie to be available. I need Dorcas and, of course, Dr. Sade. We have questions. Okay, we have questions that we set up for panel. And then if you have any questions of yours, please note it down. We'll be taking every of your questions. We'll answer it to the best of our ability within our time. We hope that we are done in about an hour or so. Okay, so I'm going to start asking Captain this question. I'm going to call you Captain. I'm going to call you Stephanie for now. So
Okay.
I'm going to call you Captain. Great. So now, I'm going to say as an influencer, because Dr. Shadi mentioned that if you do this for work, then you need to like know how to do self-care and how to properly like take yourself away from it and not be too engulfed. So as an influencer, you interact with social media daily. You even read 45 hours on Instagram daily. So how do you personally maintain a healthy relationship with it? Like you personally, what works for you? How do you maintain? How do you know that okay, it's time to stop, it's time to go? And can you like tell us which hours you spend for work on it and which hours you spend for like fun, like mindless scrolling, like we all do?
Okay, to start with how I set healthy boundaries. First, I take very frequent breaks. There are times when for maybe a week or two I just don't post. If I open Instagram, it's maybe to engage with a friend's post or to just mindlessly scroll. So sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I just take a break. I remove myself from that space. Like, okay, for the next week or for the next couple of days, I'm not working. I also have very time consuming hobbies. I like to read a lot. I read a lot, especially like African fiction. So I read a lot. I have time consuming hobbies. I like to draw. I like to write as well. So I'm not just on social media, but I make sure that I take frequent breaks whenever I'm feeling whenever it's getting too much. I will remove myself from that space. I don't like to feel like I'm drowning in my work. So once I get there, I know to remove myself. The second part of that, what was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
Okay, like you said, you spend 4 to 5 hours on Instagram daily. So which hours is for work and which is for fun, like mindless scrolling, like, or don't
Okay.
you ever ask for social media?
I actually don't spend a lot of time working because my work is just to post and to engage with other people's posts. So it kind of models together. There isn't really like a separate, it just kind of models together really. It's not, and it doesn't take a lot of time really. Once I've created the post and I've edited and I've put it up, that's really the end of it. It doesn't, so all of that isn't really part of my social media time.
Okay. So the 4 to 5 hours is just your social media time. Like, okay, let me just go and
It's
see what's
like
going on
just
online. And you know, this social media can be so influencing. Okay, so I don't know. I'm sure everybody has their beliefs and their faith. I'm a Christian. Okay, in my words and my actions, I try to back it. And then it's this trend going on, this anxiety trend. Somebody's watching me. I did not know when I started singing that song. I started confessing anxiety watching me into my life. And I'm like, wait, Mutalani, what are you saying? There's power of life and death in your tongue. Why is anxiety watching you? Do you understand? So social media can be so influencing. You don't know when you're so caught up in this, and because it's what is trending, even if you're not interested in it, it just pops up on your algorithm. I'm pretty sure people that don't know it as sin are like anxiety. Why? We are not friends. What's going on? So yes, it's so hard. Sometimes I just say, okay, let me just pop up. Okay, I saw so what usually take me to social media, me as a person is I just want to scroll. I like K dramas a lot, so maybe I want to hear reviews, movie reviews, or what people think of that movie that I watched or something. Or I just go online for work, or I just want to just take my mind off of my environment and all of that. And then before you know, 2 3 hours gone, phew. And then you just check back and you're like, I spent 4 hours here. What did I do? What did I do? So I totally get this taking off. So in your words, you have hobbies that keep you engaged. So that means we need to find something that is engaging, that is completely outside social media, so that way we're not just tied up to it. Okay, thank you so much for that, Captain. Thank you so much for that. Dorcas, are you there? The next question is for you, please. I need you to unmute if you're
Yes,
there.
I'm here.
Okay, great. So you're speaking for the students. So I just want to ask, as a student, what are some of like the biggest challenges that young people face when it comes to balancing social media and mental health? Because you're speaking on their perspective. What are like some of the biggest challenges? Because I know that there is a lot. There's this, like Dr. Shade mentioned, there's fear of missing out, there's comparison. So what actively plagues students that you know, like your friends, your co-workers, that you know that social media that's affecting them balancing social media and their mental health?
All right, thank you so much. So the first thing I'll say, peer pressure. Yes, that has a very big impact in many people. Be like, my friend on TikTok, she has a lot of followers, she's doing well, people are engaging her post. I can also do the same. And let's just say this person is not somebody, let's say this person is just an introvert. Let me put it that way. But you're comparing yourself with somebody that is outspoken and she flow with the vibes well. And before you know it, depression sets in because you feel like, oh, they are not noticing me the same way they are noticing this particular person. And unknown to you, you might even be doing something better than the person. So as a student, peer pressure, it affects us a lot. Peer pressure, yes. It affects us a lot. It affects the way we
Thank you
think.
so much for
It
that.
affects
Peer pressure. Peer pressure. Mhm. Can everybody hear her? Uh,
Can you still hear
Dorcas, we
me?
can't hear you. Are you done talking? Yes, I can hear you now. I could not hear you before.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I said we set below the ocean and self confidence. Yes, it affects our self confidence because you're like, oh, person is doing better than I am. Whereas you're doing something great. You can just keep up to and set a balance, like kind of limit between okay, this is who I am. And because I'm seeing this person on social media doing this thing, does not mean that I am not also the best version of myself. So always know that yes, you are the best version of yourself, even when those peer pressure, depression due to social media, what is trending and all of that setting. Always know that no, I'm the best version of myself and I can be fine and well even without social media.
Thank you so much for that, Dorcas, because that's it. Even we that we are not students, peer pressure is everywhere. And it's in the little things. It's in the little things, the things we don't think are so important. I mean, social media made birthday photo shoots popular. I don't think it was a thing before social media. But now everybody has to have a glam shoot for their birthday to post online. And if it feels like if you've not done it, then you've not reached a milestone of your life. And it's ridiculous. It
Yeah,
is
exactly.
because you see people spending money on this photo shoot, spending 500K, 300K for dress, for photographer, for just like a post or two. I mean, why? Why is this a thing? I mean, I'm not belittling celebrating your birthdays or marking your milestones. No, it's important that you make yourself feel good. But are you doing it because you want to, you can afford to, or you're doing it because oh, it's the rage and everybody's doing it? Like this so-called. I mean, as I said, I love movies a lot. I write movie criticism, so I love movies, and so I love K dramas. But then when Squid Game came out, it just became the rage. Everybody's just watching Squid Game, Squid Game, Squid Game. This, and I was like, no, I will not watch this movie. Come heaven or high water, because what is going on? It is not the best K drama out there, but it's like even people that don't watch K drama went to watch Squid Game because it is the rage, it is the bomb. Peer pressure in everything, with the little things, with the big things. We started doing get ready with me, which is fun until ladies practically started going naked to do get ready with me because oh yeah, some people are doing it. So many things
Yeah.
that we so many things that we are copying that is ridiculous. And I don't know why we do that. I mean that's I guess that's the power of social media. So yes, peer pressure is a huge and not just for students, for every we really need to know better. So Dr. Shade, this question is for you. It's for you. So doom scrolling has become a habit. You mentioned this, I think. Yes, but doom scrolling has become like a common habit. But how does it affect mental well-being, and how can individuals break free from it?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So yeah, doom scrolling, again, it affects how strong our focus is. And we need our attention, we need our focus, especially when we're dealing with complex things. So, you know, there's when we drive, for those of us who are driving, you may notice that you can do, well, I don't know about in Lagos, but you may notice that you can do automatic driving, meaning like maybe you're on the phone and you're driving and you find yourself home, and it's like you weren't that focused to the road, even though we should be. That's why we're not supposed to be on our phone. But there is a such thing where there's like that memory in the brain that we can do things effortlessly. Now, when it comes to doing something where you have to sit still for, it becomes the hardest thing ever. And so if we're doom scrolling, I would say incorporate that 20-minute break. I scrolled for incorporate that 20-minute limit. I scrolled for 20 minutes. Let me take a break and go do something else. And then I would also, especially if it's a post that someone looks nice in the post and you're just looking at it, instead of just liking and scrolling or just scrolling, maybe take a time, like the post, actually look at the post and appreciate it. I would say just instill a pause. Our finger has this automatic
scroll. Scroll.
If we can, interrupt that process and be intentional about it, it's not going to be easy at first, but the more you interrupt doom scrolling, the better you'll be at controlling it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Shadi. Thank you so much. I mean, doom scrolling, I think everybody has that habit of doom scrolling. You like it or not. I can scroll by, I like 10 posts, and if you ask me to remember what I just liked, I can't really pinpoint a particular thing. I just like to, maybe the color or the aesthetic, ask me to describe what I just liked, and I can't really describe it because I just like it for the fun of it. But it's nice that you say we take a pause, really appreciate the post, the effort put into that post. I think social media has really reduced our concentration because now it becomes harder to watch long hour videos. You see on social media, except it's a movie, you're watching a 10-minute video. Why am I watching a 10-minute video on Instagram? 2-3 minutes, you're already exhausted. You want to move on to the next thing. I feel like it shortens our attention span. And that's why even adverts online have to be like really short to pass the message across, or else nobody's actually going to stay till the end of it. And that's one of the disadvantages of doom scrolling. Yes, so thank you so much for the 20-minute break. So we're incorporating 20-minute break, and then we're pausing and taking in the content and not just liking for the fun of it. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Shadi. Now, Stephanie, okay. I asked you this before, but let me ask you again. So many young people aspire to be influencers, but they struggle with online criticism. So how do you handle negative comments and cyberbullying while protecting your mental peace? How do you handle this?
I first had to develop a very thick skin because majority of what I do, a lot of what I do is just sharing my opinion online. And there are people that are bound to disagree with you, right? Some people don't know how to disagree agreeably. They don't know how to disagree respectfully. So they tend to just be rude. So I had to develop very thick skin. I realized that I couldn't respond to every single negative comment without it affecting me. Because the more I responded, the worse it got for me. So I had to develop very thick skin and start to ignore a lot of things. Because like I responded the last time, this country is full of very angry people. A lot of people in this country are very, very angry. So they tend to take it out where they can. And if you notice, if you pay attention, the people dropping these comments are faceless. They use anonymous accounts because they cannot say it to your face. The anonymity is a form of protection for them. So I think you can rest in the fact that if you meet this person in real life, they will not be able to say these things to you. They won't be able to say them to your face. It also helps to have a very good support system. It also helps to have people that have your back, that are willing to listen to you and just make you feel better about all these things, people that you can talk to. And I am very blessed with a very fantastic support system. My friends, my mom especially. My mom, Even when I don't want to respond to comments, my mom will carry it on her head. She will carry the problem on her head. She will fight any and everybody for me. So I am blessed with a fantastic support system. My mom, my friends, my sister too. I started joining them, but she's much younger, so yeah, it does help to have a strong support system and thick skin for these things. So yeah.
So you have to have thick skin and you have to have support system. And for me, I'll have to add that you have to remember that these people don't know you. Okay, so their words, you shouldn't take it so personal. They don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know jack about you. At most, all they know is your online persona. They don't know you. So I feel like they shouldn't be able to describe what their words. I mean, we say that, but it's hard. But their words shouldn't really affect me because this person doesn't know me. They don't know me. You don't know my name. Probably at most, you know my Instagram handle. You don't know my actual name unless I tell you or I say in my videos. You don't know what I'm like. You don't know the kind of habits I have. So I don't feel like you have the right to like judge me. And even if you do, freedom of expression, I don't have to answer you or take it to heart. So yes, to dealing with online criticism, like Captain says, you have to develop a thick skin, know when to ignore. You don't need to answer everybody. You have to have a support system. You have to take yourself out of that space regularly. Because even if you say, okay, I have a thick skin, I won't mind. Some of those words can really hurt because do you not know me and you say such horrible things about me? Like right now, the trending word online for ladies is ashawo. Any small thing, ashawo, any little thing. Like why? You don't know me. So we have to learn to develop a thick skin, to ignore, have a support system, build a life outside of social media, and just remember that these people don't know you and don't take everything they say personally, okay? So the next question is for all three of you. You are experts on mental health and experts on social media. So on the flip side, striking the balance, how can we encourage like inactive participants in our social media groups, specifically WhatsApp, to become more engaged during important discussion? We don't only want to talk about like the bad side of social media. Social media is also good for communication, for community building, but you just see so many people just read messages, they don't respond, they're not active. How do we encourage that activeness? I'd like every one of you to answer, starting from Dr. Falana and then Dorcas.
Yeah, it's a very good question. The first thing that came to mind was utilizing icebreakers, utilizing polls, and short surveys. So some people are shy. Some people may have low confidence. Some people may have low energy to engage due to life or emotional status, and so bringing in that anonymous piece. Maybe someone doesn't like the way that they sound, doesn't like the way that they write. And so using this anonymous piece might help those who aren't engaging to engage more. So you put, you can make a Google form, or, there's other technology to use where you can put polls inside of documents, or you can, ask the group, hey, I have these, questions, and you can send me a private message or with your response. That might help with those people who are just taking up space in groups and watching everything that goes along, but they're not engaging. That might be a way to help. Another thing is a fun icebreaker might also be, I've done this at conferences where, if you could be a fruit, what fruit would you be and why? Things, these silly questions that can help take the pressure off of being so serious and having to say something so intelligible, but a response that no matter what you say, it's still appreciated.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Brown. I really appreciate it. Captain, how about you?
I first of all want to say that I don't think it's entirely necessary to make people engage with social media. Some people don't want to, and I don't think it's a good idea to force anybody to use social media in a way that they don't want to use it. They should be allowed to use it how they want to. That's my semi hot take on this particular question. But in situations where it's important for them to engage, I feel like common sense should allow for them to allow for them to know when they have to engage, especially if it's like work, especially if it's something relating to, especially if it's just something important, they would know to engage. They would know what to say in that situation. But outside that, I don't think it's important to make engage with social media again. I think it's actually a bit more healthy for people that stay off social media. It's a lot more healthy actually for people that stay off social media to just stay off and just allow them use it how they want to.
Okay, okay. Dorcas, thank you so much for that, Captain. Dorcas, how about you? You're muted.
Yeah. Can we hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. From my own perspective, I'll be saying this as a social media manager. Getting people to engage. There are several methods social media managers.
Your voice is not very clear, Dorcas.
One of it is making people see the value of, okay, there's a program coming, posted the flyer on the group, what they engage, and gradually, even the ones that don't want to attend before, by the time they see other people engaging, I feel like, oh, I feel like this thing add value to my life. So wherever people know that okay, something is going to add value to my life, that's when you see when there is a program and then probably it's just a free training and after something like this free certificate after program or after this training, you see people rush that kind of program because they feel like, oh, I'm getting a value for it. It's adding to my CV and I have a certificate to present for it because they feel like oh, there's a value. Then another thing that can do social media is give, yes, telling them to if you come, they're going to do giveaway, we're going to give you this. Probably the first person is getting the gift. You invite 20 people to the discussion, you're going to be getting this particular gift. So those people that way, you see that many people tend to respond because they know, oh, there's something attached to it. They really want to like so it's not something you can force people to do. It has to be willing, but you have to make them understand the value that they are going to be getting, then bringing them out of their comfort zone to join a discussion or to engage in a particular group or community.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dorcas. Thank you so much. It has to be worth their time. If you're bringing someone out of their comfort zone, you have to benefit something from it. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to be directing this next question. Please, I'll be taking questions from everybody in about 10 to 15 minutes. So get ready. So I have one more question each for our speakers, and then we're going to take questions from every other person. Now, Captain, this question is for you. So the pressure to appear perfect online is real. How can users embrace authenticity without fear of judgment? Did you get that?
I got it. I first that I have never felt pressure to appear perfect online. Mostly, I feel like it's a thing of confidence. Most people are not as they're not confident in a nutshell. They are not confident. They the pressure to appear confident comes from a lot of comparison. It comes from a lot of it comes from a place of lack. I think it comes from a place of oh, I don't have this, but this person has this. The people that you're looking up to, the people that you're comparing yourself to, you need to remember that they have resources that you don't have. They have people working in the background. They have access to equipment. They have access to capital. They have a lot of. You're comparing yourself to rich people's children, and you are starting from scratch. You are building yourself from scratch. You need to remember that there will be people that will appreciate what you have to offer, and there are people that are looking up to you as well. There are people that have seen you as a goal. They have seen you as something to attain. So that's another thing you have to look at. I've never felt pressure to appear perfect online. I come, I say what I want to say, and I dip. I don't think, I have never felt pressure to appear perfect online. So I am not the best to give any advice on that. But what I can say is not to follow trends. Just use social media the way you want to. Use social media in a way that you enjoy. Or it's better to not use it at all.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Shade, how about you? What do you have to say to that question I just asked Captain? You have to encourage users not to appear perfect online.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that she said. It's really important to check, especially the last part. It's really important to check your motives for using social media. And again, if you're someone like me who's always trying to work on my character, always trying to develop and grow, then you're more so focused on being your authentic self and bringing that to the forefront. Oftentimes, many times with my clients, they come with things from other people. They told me that I'm this. They told me that I'm that. And I really work with my clients to change their self-talk because it's always so damaging, always so negative. So then you start to put this filter or this lens, I should say, over your eyes that when you're interacting now, what you're receiving back is filtered through, like Captain said, that lack. And it then starts to judge your actions. And so, something that I tend to do is I really sit with myself and I check myself. I also have a support group that we also check each other. We're having deep conversations and they're not afraid to say, well, I'm hearing a lot of ego in that response. And we come back down to a humble place and we put forth the values that we actually want, whether that's to be more humble, more loving, more encouraging. And then we go out there and we practice that. And so that's what I would add to what Captain said.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Jade. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so this question is to you specifically. What steps can individuals take to detox from social media without feeling disconnected from their social circles? There's this saying on Twitter that if you don't come online or if you leave the timeline for 1 or 2 days and you come back, you won't understand anything that's happening. So, what steps can you take to detoxify without staying disconnected from your social circles? And I mean social circles, not like the trend, though. The trend is not your social circle. So, how do you detox from social media while still in tune with your social circles?
The question is truly an individual question, right? Because each person will go at it in their own way. But I would say I noticed I had an issue with social media, about 10 years ago, and I did a challenge, kind of cold turkey, where I took a whole summer, just over 2 months without social media and really without using my phone as often. And I, did a lot of outdoorsy things. I went sailing, I went hiking, I traveled, and only really used it and engaged in it when I needed to. That cold turkey method really worked for me, to the point where it overworked. Now I'm in a space where I'm trying to engage more with social media so that I don't get left behind in the tech world, and brand myself and utilize it in that way. So I would say that I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Could you ask the question again? Maybe I see if I missed anything.
Okay, like how do people go social media detox? How do they detox without this being disconnected from their social circles? We're talking about how you're now trying to make your way back.
So yeah, another strategy, if you can't do the cold turkey for an extended period of time, right? You can do it slowly. Another strategy would be gosh, I lost my train of thought again. So here's an example. I'm not on TikTok yet, and everyone I know is on TikTok, and it's kind of a rebellion not to get on TikTok because I want to be able to manage my other social media uses in a healthy way than to incorporate something that's even more about doom scrolling and less about making connections, such as TikTok. And so I remember when in the United States, when President Trump was threatening to cancel TikTok, and everybody was up in arms. And I felt like I was the only one that was okay about it. I thought it was, extremely hilarious that everyone was up in arms about TikTok being taken away. And so I think it really starts with how you feel in general about social media. If you already feel like the small distance that you have with social media makes you anxious, then it's going to be harder, obviously, to detox from social media. You might have to do these challenges where you say, you know what, my Saturday is no social media, no matter what. Obviously, you have to plan for it so that you don't miss anything important. But start with the small detox if you can't do cold turkey, but also really just check how you first feel and respond to social media, even with small distances.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shade. Thank you so much, Captain. You guys have been so amazing. So I just want to ask for one final tip from each and every one of our panelists. If you have to give one final tip on navigating social media for better mental health, what would it be? One tip from each person. Captain, would you like to go first?
I'd like a little bit of time to think about that first, please. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Okay, Dr. Shade, how about you? Would you like to go first? One final tip for navigating social media for your better mental health. What would it be? I mean, you've given us tons, but like maybe you just reinforce one.
I mean, this is something that Captain said also that resonated with me. Using social media in the way that you want to use it. And I would say focus on authenticity, putting out something that you truly believe in and you want to share, and thinking about your futuristic self. If you especially with engagement, if you are like, in 5 years I'm probably not even going to care about this issue, right? Then you might not want to engage in it so heavily. But if you're like, I see myself doing this in 5 years, then you might want to focus more and engage more in that way. And so I would say definitely think about it in a futuristic way, and focus on being authentic and what you want to share to the world.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Shade. Captain, you sing a bit more time. Can I ask Dorcas?
No, I'm good. I'm good now. I would advise you to be realistic with the boundaries and with the boundaries that you want to set. I would advise you to be realistic. If you know that you have never done a month or a week of social media, start small. Start with maybe a day. Start with a couple of hours. Start with, okay, throughout this my lunch period, I'm not going to touch my phone. I'm not going to look at my phone except it's an emergency. Start with things like that. Be realistic with yourself and give yourself time. Don't try to get, don't expect results overnight. Don't expect change in a short period of time. And also be intentional about what you put out as what you consume. Be You need, as Dr. Sade said, you need to curate your feed, but also um be very intentional about what you put out, the kind of content that you're creating. Like how do you want people to see you? How do you want people to, like, personal PR? How do you want people to relate to what you have put out? Is this the kind of image you want to create for yourself? Like she said, it's a forever thing. Once it's out there, it's out there. No matter where you delete it from, somebody always has it. Somebody always has access to it. It is always there. So be as intentional about what you put out as what you consume.
Thank you so much for that. Be intentional about what you put out as what you that consume is even important. The Bible says, "Guard your heart, for from out of it flows the issues of life." And social media has a way of messing up with your thoughts if you allow it to. By the time you start consuming so many things, you begin to question your decisions, where you've gotten to in life. You begin to, and self-worth, depression, everything comes in. So yes, be intentional about what you take in as you are about what you put out. Dorcas, how about you? What's one final tip for navigating social media, your mental health, please?
All right. I'll say we should be disciplined. While on social media, be disciplined. If you want to, like personally, I've used this discipline and then I reward did this thing of rewarding myself with social media. When I want to read, tell myself, Dorcas, if you're able to finish 2 chapters in 3 hours, you will do this. Same thing with movie. I do that with movies too. If you're able to read 3 chapters in 4 hours and you're able to like digest it well, you are watching 3 episodes. So we can do the same thing with social media, and it works for me actually because there's this pressure of yes, I want to be online, I want to know what is going on, but at the same time, there's this discipline of okay, yes, I want to read my book, I want to be focused, and I also want to make it in life. So the two just have to come together. And another thing is, don't take social media too personal. Yes, don't take everything on social media too personal. You see some people in the comment section, they start taking some things personal. I'm like, you can just drop your thoughts and just move on. Bro, you don't have to like take this thing personal and start attacking people here and there. Just like relate like with everyone equally and just on a normal level on the surface, just do it and you leave. That way you'll be able to maintain your mental health and then you still be good.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Today has been so enlightening. I need everybody to give a round of applause for our panelists. These people have been amazing. It's been back to back to back of wisdom. Back to back of wisdom. My head is full, my notes is full, everywhere is full. So I'm going to take questions for just 10 minutes because this will be yes is 4. I need them to go and rest. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand. I will be checking through now. Raise your hand. Use the hand raising emoji, I think, and then I will pick you. And I'm only going to take 5 questions. That's it, and it's in order of first come first serve. After 5 questions, every other question, send it to my DM. I'll forward it today later. Okay, so I think one person is raising their hand. I'm not seeing anybody with hands raised though. Does this mean nobody has any question? If you do have a question, you can unmute. I'm not seeing any hands raised. Hello? Does this mean everything that... Okay, Mercy. Okay, Mercy, that's great. Mercy, you can unmute. You can
All
unmute
right.
and ask your question.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Hello to the panelists. You guys did a very amazing job, and I just want to say you guys did so well. Like I was just here to support my friend, honestly, but like I actually like gained a whole lot. So first I must give accolades because you guys deserve it. The next thing I want to ask, right? So I'm a social media marketing manager and a freelancer. So when you have freelance, you just know this person probably has like 4 clients, 5 clients. Their work is literally social media. You understand? There are times when I get tired, I get overwhelmed. I could even like cry, like break down because I don't want to open TikTok. I really don't want to I don't care. I don't want to open it. But like there's my clients, you know, and they are all my clients are all scattered around different niches. So like I have different tabs opened, I have different accounts open for different things. So the algorithm doesn't mix up. So my question is, as someone with this kind of career path, if the person wants to detox, you understand, or take a break, what's like the best approach? Because sometimes I actually just keep my phone down, but I always like the after effects is not always nice because it's always like I'm doing myself. Let me use that word. I'm doing myself because the workload I will meet when I come back is always crazy. Or I have my clients texting me, "Why did you not post today?" And I just come up with like a very flimsy excuse, all because I just wanted to actually take a break. And I know that that's not the best approach, and that's not the best method to, you know, detox, even if it's like for a day. So I just want to ask the panelists, anybody can answer actually. What's like the best method? What's the best approach to do this in a very healthy and realistic manner? Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, Dr. Shade, as our expert, would you like to go first, and then Captain would answer?
Yeah, the first thing that came to mind was about motives in your work. It sounds like you're an entrepreneur. It sounds like you might have more control than most over your schedule. And so are you taking on, are you filling your plate too much where you're the one who's given the service, but now it feels like you're the one being controlled by your clients? Um,
Yeah.
right. So I would reaffirm myself, and I would, remind you that you are the business, you are the service. If you're providing quality service, people will wait for you, and put yourself in a organize yourself, calendars, use all of these tools that we have, and to be able to say like my business is closed at this time, at this time. Okay, you have business, you have clients from different parts of the world. It's the same. They can only contact you between these times. They have to understand that you're operating in a time zone and that you're already stretching yourself. And you know what? This is as early in the morning that I can speak with you, and this is as late in the day as I can speak with you, and they will have to wait. So I would say affirm yourself that you are the service and you're giving quality service, and you have to make sure you take care of your mental health and your well-being, or the service is going to start to lack. I know there might be a fear, and well, let me not put that on you, but if there is a fear of missing out on opportunities, I would say it already sounds like um, you're doing well. And so check the motives. Is it only money you're chasing? Is it only relevancy you're chasing? Or do you really care about your craft and what you're putting out?
All right. That was very impactful. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
actually have a whole lot on my plate, more than I can take. I recently had to let go of my UK client because it was too much. I was doing so much, and this just falls back to what you said. You know, what's the motive behind it? And now I'm just taking. I think going forward, I'll just take like jobs that are essential for my career growth. Because regardless, in our place of work, there's a ladder, right? And you want to climb that ladder. So whether as someone that works as a freelancer or someone that works in a company, you want to climb that ladder to get better pay, to get better opportunities. So I think going forward, that's probably what I'm just going to do. Only jobs that would make me learn new things. And again, also when my plate is full, my plate is full. No matter how enticing the money, the money is going to save, I should actually not be taking more than I can handle. So yes, and the use of calendars, content calendars, all those things. Yeah, that'll be implemented. Thank you so much. Yeah, I
Welcome,
really appreciate
Mercy.
that.
Okay, I'm so glad that your questions were answered perfectly. So I don't think we have any more questions. Oh, Captain, do you have anything else to add to what you said? I want to round up in about 10 minutes.
No, I don't have anything to add. We've said.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have any other question? I'm hoping not. Okay, great. I can see that nobody's raising their hands. So please check. Okay. Oh, great. So Dr. Falana just wrote something. Everybody check through the chat. There are quotes there. She said, don't be afraid to test drive some changes. You can always increase again later. That's for Mercy and for every other person that does social media marketing in here. So I'm posting a link on the group now. This is a survey for everyone that's attended. Please click on the link and answer the questions. It's to help us get a gauge on your social media habits, because as we said, this is not going to end here. Social media is something that we use consistently, and we hope that this topic grows beyond today. So please click on the link, feel the message in the board. And so thank you so much for joining in, everybody. This webinar was brought to you by Engage Youth Africa Initiative, AI Initiative. And AI Initiative is an initiative that is very youth focused. We're focused on improving and bettering the life of youths all over Africa. We're Pan-African organization where we have roots in Ghana and Kenya, and we're working on establishing in Namibia as well. And basically all we want to do is just make sure that every youth in Africa maximizes their potential to the best of their abilities. We are volunteer based. Of course, Dr. Shadi said, and in the US too, definitely. We are definitely establishing in the US as well, even in Canada, because this is important. We have youths everywhere in the world, and we just want to see that everybody gets to the best of their potential, because I believe that God has given us something unique, something special, and that we can all reach it. And that's what AI stands for. We want to improve your life. We want to better your life. We want to show you that there's so much more you can do as an African youth. So if you are not a volunteer, or you're just here for the very first time and you'd like to volunteer with us, I'm going to post the link to the volunteer form. You can fill the link and someone will be in touch with you soon enough. You can also visit and follow us on all of our social media pages, on Instagram, on TikTok, not TikTok, rather on Instagram, on X. And you can also visit our website at www.engagewithafricainitiative. Thank you all so much for coming today. It's amazing. It's been 2 hours, almost 2 hours, and we did not get bored, because this is important. So if you're not in the group, you're not in any of our teams, please fill the form. Dr. Shadi will send the slides to me and I will forward it to everyone if you are interested, of course, because it's important that we read up on what she's sending. Great. The website has been pasted. You can click on it and visit the website as well. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, I want to introduce our founder, the founder of Engage with Africa, my boss. Everybody, please welcome Dr. Bola Pearl. Just going to round us off for a bit. Thank you very much, sir.
Hello,
AG.
everyone. Yeah, thank you, Motolani. Hello, everyone. A special thank you to all the speakers, Dr. Shade, Captain. Sorry, I hope I got that correctly, Stephanie. Then,
Dorcas.
Dorcas. Thank you so much. Thank you, and also I want to appreciate the team for putting this together. You've done a great job. Thank you so much, all our volunteers. Thank you. You make our community active, and we are who we are. This is another highs in the block. I think we'll move on to the next stage. We'll try as much as possible. I think this is recorded. We'll try and put it out there on your YouTube page. If you're not following us, if you have not subscribed, please try to subscribe to our YouTube page. We have a number of trainings that have been uploaded there as well. We have quite a number of materials. We'll try in the next couple of days. Our new team working on High City are going to work to update all our materials. So just watch out. I know great things are going to happen with the new set of energies we have in the community now. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of the holiday. For those of you who are here in Africa, we are having a long holiday in the next couple
Yes,
of
we are.
days. Yeah,
Okay.
so thank you. Over to you, Tolan.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. It's been amazing. For everyone who stayed from the beginning to the very end, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sade. It's an honor. Thank you so much, Captain. You are amazing. And everybody, Captain is writing exams, and she's here. She's been reading. She's working. She's an all-rounder. I'm so proud. Like, thank you so much for the time. Thank you,
Thank
Dorcas. She's doing the school
you.
NYS, you guys. And Dr. Shadi, irrespective of the time difference, she's always on board. Not waking up as early as 7, 8 to just talk to me. You guys, thank you all so much. You people made this amazing. And I can't wait to see the wonderful things we put together. I kept saying, you're not living engaged youth now. Just let me tell you. Let me just let you know that you're not living engaged youth. I will always be in your DMs. Thank you
Yeah.
all so much. It's amazing. I wish everyone a wonderful weekend to our Muslim friends. Happy Eid. I think it's Eid al-Kabir, I think,
Yeah.
everyone. And so we can all leave now. Thank you. Bye.